okay? If I'm under a lot of stress, I'm having a hard time falling asleep, one thing that I've learned how to do is eat a boatload of cereal, okay? What does cereal do for me? Well, it elevates my blood sugar through the roof, and it's really good, by the way, okay? Really, really tasty, but my insulin levels shoot through the roof, which pushes down my cortisol levels significantly, okay? So there's an appropriate level of carbohydrate consumption in the evening, okay? The appropriate high level of carbohydrates that we should stick pretty close to is about 60 grams of carbohydrates at one time, okay? So that's like 2 slices of like real bread, none of that BS bread, like real bread, it's like 2 slices of real bread. We're talking rice. It can be white rice, it can be potatoes, anything like that. I'm trying to think, about a cup of that once it's cooked. So about a cup of rice, a cup of potatoes, those types of things, right? So we're not talking a huge amount. If you have to do cereal, that's usually, I found cereal. So I can get 3 servings of Cheerios for 60 carbs. Just so you know what it is. A serving of Cheerios is like 1 1/4 cups, man. That's a big bowl.
Is it the chocolate Cheerios or just the regular?
Just the regular Cheerios. But you know what I do to the regular Cheerios is I don't put milk in it because I can't do dairy, and I don't like, I do water. Listen, girlfriend, okay? I put protein powder in it to flavor it, so I'm getting protein. If you have protein in it, you know it's healthy. So just
I
add.
put protein in my cookies.
Isn't it blunting your insulin response though? Because the protein.
Oh, here's an interesting, so liquid amino acids spike insulin just as much as sugar does.
Oh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm getting a huge insulin spike.
Yeah.
Nighttime. Right, but if I get too big of an insulin spike, what ends up happening is my insulin will drive down my blood sugar below where it should be, okay? Which makes me become hypoglycemic. What happens when I become hypoglycemic? So it's going to release glucagon, right, which is another pancreatic hormone that stimulates the release of blood sugar from your stored muscle or liver sites to bring your blood sugar back up. But if you get too low too fast, your body's also going to have a stress hormone response, either it being cortisol or one of the other adrenal hormones like epinephrine and norepinephrine, which will wake you up. Okay, so if you fall asleep because you had way too much sugar, and you guys may think about the last time you like totally binged out, like you fall asleep like a baby, but then you wake up at like 2 in the morning, and you're just like wide awake and you're thirsty as all get out. Anybody ever do that before? Am I the only one? Okay, so you're like, your body's like, dude, we got to get this blood sugar out, and then you're hungry and you need to bring it all this stuff back up. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why you wake up is because you have a stress response to the blood sugar. So a little bit is good, a lot is probably okay, but way too much is definitely not going to work very well for you. Dopamine is a very interesting hormone. So it's a hormone of motivation. And you guys may have remembered that you actually feel more motivated and more satisfied in the anticipation of whatever. So Black Friday, Christmas, not talking vacation or Viagra, but it's always a letdown. Never mind, just kidding. I had to go there. I'm sorry. Right, but so like, let's say you're getting ready to buy something awesome. You guys ever buy something awesome? You're like, oh, I saved up money. I'm so excited. You get it, and then you're like, yeah, they call that buyer's remorse, and that's a real thing. So you actually have a greater dopamine response to the anticipation of things than you do for the actual receiving of things. Remember a kid on Christmas? Like, I would watch television shows, and I would, like, all the kids just, like, sprint down, man. They, like, tackle each other. They just start tearing open gifts. Like, it's the greatest thing in the world. And then when Christmas actually happened at my household, it's like everybody walks down very calmly and open one gift at a time and give thanks for it. And then right? It was horrible. It was horrible. Right? And then you know, we had there was 4 of us, so I don't know. But it would have been fun. Just like, this isn't my gift, this is yours. Anyhow, but we're always a little bit disappointed even when we like receive things, right? So dopamine is one of those things, and that's why a lot of us like to jump from diet to diet to diet, or from exercise program to exercise program to exercise program, is because we anticipate how great this is going to be. We read about this thing, it gets us really excited, right? I'm going to do this diet, and like you prepare, you do it, and like a week into, you're like, this sucks. Like, I don't feel that motivated to do this anymore. Okay, that's where discipline comes into play, guys. So discipline is doing something you don't want to do, but you stay motivated because you focus on what the discipline is going to provide for you. So what do you love most about what the discipline is going to provide for you? All right, so dopamine and serotonin, these kind of work in combination. These are neurotransmitters that work in combination to help us feel a degree of motivation and a degree of satisfaction. So we want to have tasty foods. By the way, the anticipation of a tasty food is great, and also eating a tasty food creates this cascade in my brain known as the reward cascade, meaning I'm going to feel a degree of satisfaction from that unless I'm a drug addict. Then if I'm a drug addict, guess what happens? That was good, more is better. Okay? So we have to be aware, and different chemical combinations work differently for some people, right? Like some people can manage sugar really well, some people can manage donuts really well, some people can manage this, that, or the other really well. So we do have to know ourselves, and if we can continue doing that particular thing. So, most of us can moderate our consumption of any kind of food. Some of us need to be aware that we can't moderate it, and we know if we can't moderate it or not. If I do this, I can't stop. So the best way to do that is like, AA meetings, 12-step programs, spiritual awakening. I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of serious. And just avoid it. It's like abstinence, right? You can't give an alcoholic a drink of alcohol, or just, they have to reach bottom again or whatever it is. Okay, so that's pretty much all the time that we have with that. I do want to mention really, really quickly, dopamine, serotonin, everything in our body is connected. So dopamine and serotonin are produced in our gut lining, right? Our gut lining produces 75% of all the neurotransmitters. That's the brain chemicals that make us feel anything. If I have a feeling, it's because of these particular chemicals in particular combination. And a lot of that is produced in my gut lining. So if I want to feel and have appropriate feelings, I need to have a very healthy digestive system.